It is now 9:30 a.m. I would like to call this meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Is there any public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications? Thank you very much. Please
Hi, I'm John
state your
Groh, former Mill Creek supervisor.
please state your name.
John
And,
Groh.
and if you could, you don't need to state your address. You can just write your name and address.
Okay, I've done this many times before. Do have a question about something that is not on the agenda, and that has to do with the appointment of a treasurer for the township. Is that going, it's not on the agenda, and just wondering, will that be discussed today?
Attorney Shaw?
Mr. Grouse, you're correct, it's not on the agenda, so it won't be on the...
It will not be discussed
Will not be
then.
an issue decided upon today.
Okay, that's all I need to know for now. Thank you.
Any other comments on agenda items other than development or rezoning? Okay, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. We have minutes that have been reviewed from the December 19th, 2023 regular meeting and the January 2nd, 2024 organizational meeting.
I'll move approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing no discussion, I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I will also vote yes. Motion carries. Do I have, we now have approval of the bills. Do I have a motion to approve the bills?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
A motion was made by Mr. Olet and was seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing there is no discussion, I'll call for a vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries. Bids and quotations. Item 6 on our agenda. We have a new assembly room audio system in the administration and IT department, and to speak here for that is our IT coordinator, Mr. Fleming.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. This request is for the approval of the new audio system to replace the 25-plus-year-old outdated and malfunctioning current equipment we have in the assembly room. My recommendation, after receiving quotes from Grisey and Wilkins, I am recommending the purchase of the Wilkins system with system core at the price of $10,604.15, and the attendance microphone option for the wireless options to remove all the wiring and safety issues we have with the cords here, for the handheld systems in the amount of $10,228.20, in order to efficiently host meetings and connect users for presentations and fulfill meeting requirements.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fleming. Do I have a motion to approve the audio system?
Kim, I have a couple of questions for John.
I think that we need to go through a motion and a second to go through discussion, correct?
No, I think that Mr. Bach can ask questions at this point.
Okay, so that's appropriate. Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mr. Bach.
So John, I just wanted, the total cost then is the 10,604.15 plus the 10,228.20.
Correct. The initial $10,000 is for the infrastructure in the closet, and the $10,000 will replace all these outdated microphones and all the wired systems we have here, in addition to interfaces on the wall for presentations to plug in. And
Right, so we're looking total is 20,832.35?
correct.
Okay. I didn't see in the packet what Grisey quoted.
Grisey came in closer to $39,000.
Okay, yeah, I just wanted the public to know that although 20,800 is a lot of money, the Grisey quote was almost double that, correct?
Yes. Correct.
Okay, just wanted that out there for comparison. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Bach. Do I have a motion to approve the new assembly room audio system?
I'll make that motion, Kim.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. Bach and was seconded by Mr. Olet. I'll open it up for discussion. I do want to say publicly thank you to John Fleming for all the work he did. This has been many months in the process and trying to contact companies and get them in here. And I'm very happy that we found a competitive quote. So thank you for your work on that. All right, then I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. I think everyone in the public will be thankful for that. We now have the new telephone system in the administration and IT department. Mr. Fleming.
Thank you, Madam Chairperson. This request is for the approval of signing for a new phone system. The current phone system is 10 years old and is not upgradable on software or hardware. Furthermore, the company that has made the system is no longer in business. This project was included in the budget approved in December of 2023. After requiring 3 separate quotes and looking at features, pros and cons of each, the IT staff of the township recommends going with VelocityNet for our new system. Quotes were as followed for a 60-month total cost of ownership. Verizon was $284,364. VelocityNet was $160,870. And third generation was $160,692. While third generation was slightly lower, VelocityNet is a local 24/7 support company, and the recurring monthly payments were only about 60% of third generation. Therefore, much less expensive beyond the 60-month period.
Great, thank you. Attorney Shaw, I believe you have some other things to note?
Yes, I looked at this and looked at the bids and the quotes, and I guess I would just point out that I think in reality, the VNet quote is less, and the reason for that is we currently have an existing phone service agreement with VNet that goes for another 2 years, and this doesn't take that into account. So if you take that into account, the VNet number actually is much lower from a comparison perspective. And I would also point out that this isn't just for the phone system, but it's also for the phone service. And the VNet service would also last for the current end date is I think November of 25. That's being extended for this 60-month period. So I just wanted to make that clarification that in reality, VNet is the lower number when you take into account the fact that we already have an agreement with them until November of 25 for a portion of this cost, which obviously, if we walked away from, we'd have some, we'd have to incur some costs, in doing that. So I think in reality, VNet is the low number of the 3.
Great, thank you. Any questions for Mr. Fleming? Do I have a motion to approve the new telephone system?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion was made by Mr. Olet and was seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing there is no discussion, I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. Community engagement software from the Mill Creek Police Department. Chief Mook.
Good morning. Tip 411 is a community engagement tool set that allows a police agency to receive and respond to anonymous tips from the public across multiple channels in real time. The program provides for the ability to instantly reach the public via email and text alerts. Also, there's a feature to allow for management of incoming tips via mobile devices. The company, Tip 411, is providing a 20% discount with payment on or before January 12th, and the initial 24-month subscription term is available at a discount for a total of $7,680. The full price was $9,600. I recommend this purchase be approved to allow MPD to better send and receive communications with the public.
Any questions for Chief Mook? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the community engagement software?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A motion was made by Mr. Olet and it was seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. I guess I will make a comment that I am very excited about the enhanced ability for our residents to communicate with our police department for tips and have it done anonymously. So I think that'll be an important engagement tool. Okay, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. Patrol car 365 licenses. Chief Book.
Right. So presently, we have 4 licenses for our 18 patrol cars for Office 365 products. And with the advent of the two-factor authentication, this is causing problems with us in the sharing of the licenses across multiple devices. And our IT manager, Chris Filson, recommends that we increase the number of licenses for the patrol cars from 4 to 18, which will increase our annual cost by approximately $1,400. Pricing is standard for this product and will be purchased via VNet, as they are the providers of our current tenant agreement for Microsoft 365 products.
Great. Any questions for Chief Book? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the patrol car 365 licenses?
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, I will open it up for discussion. Seeing there is no discussion, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. Mill Creek Police Department IT Manager. Again, Chief Book.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
It was the Mill Creek Police Department IT Manager?
That was the 365.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, that was still a
the
part
last
of the
item.
365. I had it listed as 2 different items. I apologize, Chief Mook. Thank you. You don't have to do all of that again. Okay. Next up, we have Mr. Donikowski, storm sewer pipelining in the Streets Department.
Thank you. Good morning. The Streets Department is seeking approval to contract the following pipelining to Insight Pipe Contracting. 30 linear feet of 18 and 15-inch pipe, liner under Old Glenwood Park Avenue. 182 linear feet of 18-inch liner along the west edge of Hillborn Avenue. 37 linear feet of 15-inch liner under Garlock Avenue, and 33 linear feet of 12-inch under Chelsea Avenue. The total price for this work is $42,769.10 under CoStar's contract number 016. Funds will be taken from the pipelining line of the Streets Department capital budget, leaving a balance of $157,230.90. It is my recommendation to contract this work to Insight Pipelining.
Attorney Shaw, point of clarification. May we have Mr. Donikowski read all 4 as long as we have time for questions in between and vote as one, or do we need a motion for that?
I would do, if you want to do the pipelining ones all together, E, F, and G, that's fine.
Okay, all right, we'll do all 3 pipelining together then. Go ahead, Mr. Donikowski. First, any questions on the storm sewer pipelining from anyone?
No.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
The Streets Department is seeking approval to hire National Gunite to concrete line approximately 190 feet of 48-inch pipe underneath Pondview Drive. The price for this project is $140,950 under CoStar's contract number 041-E23-026. Funds for this will be taken out of the pipelining line of the Streets Department capital budget, leaving a balance of $16,280.90, and I recommend contracting this work to National Gunite.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, we'll move on to our third one, Enfield sanitary pipelining.
The Sewer Department is seeking approval to contract Insight Pipe Contracting to install 260 linear feet of 8-inch cured-in-place liner on Enfield Lane. The existing line is failing and allowing a large amount of infiltration into the sanitary pipe. The cost for this work is $14,324 under CoStar's contract 016. Funds will be taken from the I&I grouting and maintenance line of the sanitary sewer capital budget, leaving a balance of $375,676. I recommend contracting this work to Insight Pipe.
Okay, any questions?
None here.
All right. Then I will ask for a motion to approve the storm sewer pipelining, the Pondview pipelining, and the Enfield sanitary pipelining.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
It was motioned by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing none, then I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet?
Yes.
How do you vote? Yes.
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. And then Mr. Donakowski, the Summerlin Trail Storm Sewer Reimbursement.
The Public Works and Engineering Office are seeking approval to reimburse 3 residents on Summerland Trail for work that was done privately on a storm sewer collector line in front of their properties within the township right-of-way. Totals for these reimbursements are $5,800, $3,250, and $1,000. This totals $10,050, and this will be taken from the engineering department's contingency line, leaving a balance of $89,950. It is my recommendation to reimburse these residents for work that they had paid for within our right-of-way.
Great, thank you. Any questions?
If I could just point out that all 3 of the property owners have executed a general release in exchange for the payment of those funds.
Okay, thank you. All right, do I have a motion to approve the Summerlin Trail Storm Sewer Reimbursement?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing there is no discussion, I will call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. Next up, we have the number 7 on the agenda, new amended ordinances under review. There's a subdivision and land development ordinance, Saldo amendment. Attorney Shaw.
Yes, that is continuing to be reviewed with engineering and planning and development to get that finalized.
Great. Thank you very much. Number 8 on the agenda is parking lot agreement with Westminster Presbyterian Church. And with that, I will head over to Attorney Shaw.
Yes, township employees have been utilizing portions of the church parking lot next door for parking during the day over for some time, with kind of the general agreement of the church. The decision was made that agreement should be in writing. So before you is a parking license agreement that formalizes the agreement between the township and the church regarding township employees' use of the parking spaces. Under the terms of the agreement, the township will have a license to park up to 25 cars in the church parking lot, and the township will compensate the church $625 a month for those spaces. The term of the agreement is a year. If the township needs additional spaces, those must be requested from the church and at an additional cost of $25 a space. In addition, the township will provide certain in-kind services related to snow plowing and salting services of the area covered by the license. The recommendation would be to approve this agreement.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Attorney Shaw? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the parking lot agreement with Westminster Presbyterian Church?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
A motion was made by Mr. Olet and was seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing there is no discussion, I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. Number 9 on the agenda is the Emergency Medical Services Agency Medical Direction Agreement for the Mill Creek Fire Department. And filling in for Chief Cliff is Mr. Jerry Hicken, one of our fine firefighters. If you wouldn't mind coming up to the podium, we can hear you loud and clear.
Good morning. Requesting on behalf of Chief Cliff that we sign a medical director contract agreement with UPMC Pre-Hospital Services, identified as Regional Health Services, with Dr. Joe Radacci, an emergency physician through Hammett, and he would be the medical director for the Mill Creek Fire Department in order for us to receive a EMS license through the state of Pennsylvania at the ALS level.
Great. Any questions for Mr. Higgins?
None here.
Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to approve the Emergency Medical Services Agency Medical Direction Agreement?
So moved.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion was made by Mr. Olet and was seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing there is no discussion, I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. Number 10 on our agenda are grant applications. We have the Byrne SCIP local grant with the Mill Creek Police Department, and here to present on that is Chief Mook.
Yes, the application period became open for local law enforcement agencies to apply for funding from the PA Commission on Crime and Delinquency. Up to $200,000 is available in grant money from the PCCD that can be used to extend the COAST project for MPD. Because the COAST grant has already funded valuable projects for the police department, notably the peer support program and the partnership with Safe Harbor for crisis co-responder assistance, I highly recommend the approval for the grant application for MPD.
Any questions for Chief Mook? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the Byrne, I think that's how that said, SCIP local grant?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing there's no discussion, I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries. Now here to present on the PADEP Section 904 Performance Grant is the Director of the Community Relations and Sustainability Department, Ms. Jessica Stutzman.
Thank you. Good morning. PA Section 904 recycling performance grants are available to all Pennsylvania local governments with recycling programs following Act 101 regulations. The grant awards are based on the total tons recycled and the applicant's recycling rate. Eligible grant materials include only glass bottles and jars, metal cans, plastic bottles, newspapers, magazines, paper, and cardboard. In 2023, Mill Creek Township residents, curbside, multifamily units, mobile home parks, and businesses recycled 6,726.8 tons worth of eligible materials. Per the formula that is given to us by the DEP, it is our recommendation that Mill Creek Township CRS Department apply for $96,324.64 from the DEP Performance Grant to put back into programming, education, and events that will benefit our Mill Creek Township residents and businesses.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I will just make a comment that I think it's quite amazing that we actually, for recycling, have $96,000 that could come back into our revenue. So thank you very much for applying for that grant. I can't tell you how many places I visit that don't recycle, and I think it's so important that Mill Creek Township does take part in a recycling program. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the PADEP Section 904?
I'll make that motion, Kim.
Thank you. And do I have a second?
Yes, second.
A motion was made by Mr. Bach and was seconded by Mr. Olet. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing there is no discussion, I will call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. Okay, we are now into communications. And the first is going to be Treasurer Communications, given by Assistant Treasurer Melanie Page.
There's no report at this time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Page. Moving on, we have some hiring requests. The first request comes from the Park and Rec Department. Ms. Ashley Marsteller, the Director of Parks and Rec.
Good morning, thank you. The Parks and Recreation Department is seeking the approval for the employees utilized for the winter session of our recreation programs. These part-time employees are program supervisors, instructors, and barn supervisors that will oversee the recreational programming during the winter 2024 session. These employees have been budgeted for in the Parks and Recreation operational budget. There's approximately 20 or so of them. They range in pay from $11.50 to $15 an hour. Is my recommendation to approve the listed employees, part-time employees, for the 2024 winter session.
Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Marsteller? Do I have a motion to approve the hiring in the Parks and Rec Department?
I'll make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion was made by Mr. Bach and seconded by Mr. Olet. Open up for discussion. Seeing none, I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries. Thank you. Next up, we have training and travel requests for the PELRAS conference. And I will go ahead and explain that this comes from the Cheryl Williams, our township secretary, and also Ms. Diane Lyons, who is the coordinator of our human relations, human resources. The following request is for the conference that will be held in 2024. And the PELRAS conference takes place from March 13th through March 15th in State College, PA. And this is for 2 people, which, sorry, for 5 people. I apologize. The PELRAS is for, I apologize, for 5 people. The PELRAS with the conference registration, lodging, and per diem, the total is $4,789.80. There is also recommendation for the PSATS conference, April 14th through April 17th, in 2024 in Hershey, Pennsylvania for 2 people. The conference, lodging, and per diem total $2,158. Just as a note, these conferences are set up for information, changes in legislation statewide. It's a great learning experience for the members of our staff. So I'll open this up for any questions. Okay, do I have a motion to approve the PELRAS conference and PSATS conference registrations?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing none, I'll call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. Next, we have the sewer department. I believe we have 2 hires in the sewer department. And that would be Mr. Donikowski.
Thank you. The sewer department is seeking approval to send 5 employees to a workplace safety hazardous chemicals workshop in Linesville, PA on January 25th of 2024. The workshop will cover safety topics with various chemicals used by the sewer department and will give each employee 6 continuing education credits towards their sewer/water licenses. The 5 employees attending this training are Mark Wells, Keith Lawson, Bert Mayo, Matt Stevens, and Clayton Cifelli. Cost for this training totals $975, and funds will be taken from the training line of the sewer department budget, leaving a balance of $9,025. Transportation will be by township vehicle. I recommend sending these 5 employees to this training.
Thank you very much. I think I want to just clarify that I think I said hiring and I meant conference, so I apologize for that. Any questions for Mr. Donikowski? Okay, seeing none, then I will, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Motion was made by Mr. Olet, seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing no discussion, I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries. And is there another
Yes.
pumper show? Yes. Okay, Mr. Donikowski.
The sewer department is seeking approval to send 6 employees to this year's water and wastewater equipment, treatment, and transport show in Indianapolis, Indiana. The dates for this show are January 24th through the 27th. Employees attending this year will be myself, Supervisor Olet, John Blos, Matt Waldinger, Bill Townsend, and Paul Kleiner. This show offers many education classes and all new equipment in the sewer industries to allow us to better maintain the sanitary and storm sewer systems within the township. Total cost for 6 education and expo passes, hotels, and per diems total $7,800 $879.42. Funds will be taken from the training line of the sanitary sewer budget, leaving a balance of $1,145.58. It is my recommendation to approve this seminar and expo.
Thank you very much. Any questions? Okay, I will, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
It was a motion was made by Mr. Olet and seconded by Mr. Bach, and I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing no discussion, I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
And I also vote yes. Motion carries. Okay, we now have the Mill Creek Fire Department emergency medical technician. I'll have Mr. Jerry Higgins come back up. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chief Cliff is recommending approval for firefighter Robert Laufenberg to enroll in the Emergency Medical Technician School, which will be hosted at the Perry Highway Hose Company in Summit Township through the Butler County Community College. It's a 184-hour course running Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 10 p.m. with occasional Saturdays. His total cost for this class, including textbook, would be $986, and Chief Cliff is submitting that as a recommendation to approve.
Thank you very much. If you just want to stay there for a minute. Point of clarification, Attorney Schock, may we have him read all three? Or do we need to approve each one individually?
As long as it's fine with the other two supervisors, you could do all three.
Okay.
That's fine with me.
I'm okay with all three.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Higgins. Go ahead. You can continue with the other two requests.
Perfect. The next one, Chief Cliff is recommending 5 firefighters Ackery, Flack, Jacobson, Shao, and West to attend online class for Fire Inspector 1 certification. This will be through the Bucks County Community College. It's online, running through January 25th, 2024. It's a 40-hour course, which will enhance fire safety in the community, allowing them to do and assist with fire inspections and making sure buildings are up to recognized fire code standards. And he's submitting that as a request to approve. And then the final one would be he's requesting to send firefighter Jeffrey Payton to the Butler County Community College for a prep course and testing for his Firefighter 1 certification. This is a requirement as a condition of his employment with the township to be obtained within 1 year. The cost for that is $250, and I apologize, on the first one, for the Fire Inspector 1, it's $175 per student for $875 cost.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I think you have to go.
Oh, okay. Oh, geez. Any questions are too late. Yeah. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the firefighter trainings?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, a motion was made by Mr. Olet and was seconded by Mr. Bach. I'll open it up for discussion. Seeing there is no discussion, I will call for a vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
Yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Yes.
I also vote yes. Motion carries. We're going to move on now to executive sessions.
Mrs. Claire, can I have you
Oh.
back up just a second? We had
Oh,
one more approval here for administration for training, and that was, you should have a copy of this here.
Oh, goodness, I apologize. Okay, I'm so sorry.
I can take it if you'd like.
Okay, yes, that sounds good. Please, thank you,
Okay.
Mr. Olet.
All right. Request is for approval for Bill Cox of J.L. Nick and Associates to provide an all-day training session for administrative staff and department directors on Monday, January 15th. The cost is $3,850. There are 13 staff members expected to attend. My recommendation is for approval of this training.
Dan, I had a question about this training. As far as the breakdown of the costs, it seems high to me, especially in comparison to what we just approved earlier with the PELRAS and the PSATs that we just approved. The PELRAS was about $250 per person, and that lasts 3 to 4 days. PSATs is only $199 per person, and that also is a week-long event. This training that you're requesting is about $300 per person, and it's only a 6-hour session. And I was just wondering how that 3850 broke down.
Well,
How do you break it down?
so I think you already did. So,
Okay.
yes, that, about $300 a person is the cost. And that's, unfortunately, that is what the cost is. This is the same training, or like the same training we took last year. I believe you were in attendance also.
Yes, I was.
I believe that everyone that was in attendance for that training thought it was very beneficial, providing leadership, goal, vision setting, a lot of practical exercises. So I truly believe that the cost is well worth the investment for our staff.
So the 3850 is entirely the Bill Cox / JL Nick cost? There's no cost for the facility?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Okay, do I have a motion to approve the Bill Cox annual planning session?
I'll make that motion.
And do I have a second? I will second the motion. A motion was made by Mr. Olet and was seconded by Ms. Clear. I will open it up for discussion. Seeing there's no discussion, I will call for the vote. Mr. Olet, how do you vote?
I vote yes.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
No.
And I vote yes. Motion carries. And I believe that was the last item?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Executive sessions were held on 12/20 of 2023, where personnel matters were discussed. And again, on January 4th, 2024, where litigation matters related to federal lawsuit and claim for unpaid taxes related to bankruptcy matter filed by a resident, personnel matters, and real estate matters related to parks and rec facilities and the leasing of facilities. Now for solicitor communications, Attorney Shaw.
Nothing further on my end.
Thank you very much. We now move to citizens to be heard. Each citizen will be given five. Oh, yes.
Could I?
Yes, Mr. Waldinger.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, I just had one item to add under communications. Just wanted to note that tonight is the monthly Planning Commission meeting.
Oh.
And it marks the last meeting with Dave Skelly as a member of the commission. His appointment is up and he has asked not to be reappointed. He was first appointed to the commission in September of 2003. In his career, he was the Director of Planning for Erie County for over 20 years, and then served as a coastal land use and economic specialist for the Pennsylvania Sea Grant Program until his retirement. His knowledge and planning experience was invaluable to the commission and was pivotal in projects such as Embrace Mill Creek Comprehensive Plan, multiple ordinance improvements, and the development of the official map. I just wanted to take a moment to recognize Dave for his over 20 years of volunteer service to the residents of Mill Creek Township, to wish him well on his future endeavors, and to thank him for the support and assistance he has provided to the Planning and Development Department.
Excellent. Congratulations to Mr. Skelly, and thank him for his service. We do thank him for his service.
Yeah. Certainly quite a bit of time to devote to the community, for sure.
Okay, item number 12, citizens to be heard. Each citizen will be given 5 minutes to speak. Please fill out your name and address on the sign-in sheet. However, you only need to state your name into the record. Any citizens to be heard?
John Grow. I spoke at the beginning of the meeting there. First of all, let you know, Melanie, this is not directed at you at all, because as you know, I supported you being working here and make a transition when Mark finally leaves, his employment, retired, resigns, whatever the case might be. First of all, I want to start that I don't have a copy of the minutes. They were just approved today, so they were not available for public use. The last week at the reorganizational meeting, there was a motion to table the appointment of the township treasurer, and there was no date given of when that would be brought up again. And so I'm asking when that might be. Of course, I know I'm not going to get an answer on any of these things. It's only citizens to be heard. So I guess I'll just leave it with this here. What is the status of the township treasurer? Do we have one or not? That is my question, sincere question. I am rather perturbed in the fact that I found out on the day of the reorganizational meeting that Mr. Bach was informed by Mr. Olet that two of the supervisors decided not to reappoint Mr. Chehesky to that position. And it certainly appears that that was kind of an underhanded, sneaky way of doing it. And that really is troublesome. And of course, then there was a comment that he's on administrative leave. The way I look at it, if someone's on administrative leave, they're an employee. I mean, either you're working or you're not. And if you're on administrative leave, you are an employee, but you're just not working at that time for whatever reason there might be. I can say this, and if you want to be decent about this, if you have your problems with Mr. Chehesky, which I had none, but I will tell you, if you have problems with his comments or anything like that, there's a way of doing that. You tell him, a couple months before the end of the year, say, hey, guess what, Mark? It's been nice working with you here, but you know what? We're not going to reappoint you in January. That's the way you handle it there. You don't pull this underhanded stuff like that. I want to remind you of a couple things here, and this is as per second-class township code. How much time do I have left?
2 minutes and
2
54
minutes,
seconds.
okay, I knew I'd be fast on this one. Second-class township code, PA 35 statutes, section 65602, organization of a meeting, the appointment of a secretary and treasurer. The Board of Supervisors shall meet at a convenience time and place on the first Monday in January each year. If that Monday is a legal holiday, go to the next day. The Board of Supervisors shall elect one member as a chair, one as a vice chair. It shall appoint a treasurer and a secretary. Shall is the key word there. The secretary shall be an individual. However, the Board of Supervisors may select a trust company, bank institution, or whatever there, okay? I can go on and on about that there. Now, there's one position that was not appointed there, and I need to know, I'd like to know, and I think a lot of the public would like to know, when is that going to happen? I know I'm not going to get an answer on that there. I'm just going to get the looks. That's fine. I am really concerned about this, and I can tell you what the public is seeing, and I'm going to tell you what I see it. This is nothing but retribution. That's all it is there. And Melanie, if you take over in this role, I wish you the very best. You're a nice person, and you're very well qualified. I wish you the best in this matter.
Thank you, John. I'm going to make a few comments on your comments. I agree with you. It's been a week now since this motion was tabled, and I've heard nothing in the 7 days that was done. I've heard nothing about Mr. Zasesky's status, so your guess is as good as mine. I've heard nothing. If there is something happening, I haven't been informed of it. The second thing that taxpayers need to be aware of, he's on paid administrative leave. He is the highest paid non-police employee here. So you, the taxpayer, are paying him over $4,000 every pay to sit at home. I think that's a travesty.
Any other citizens to be heard?
I'll just do it from here. Hey, name's Gerald's video.
Jerry, would you mind? Thank you.
It's real short.
That's okay.
Nothing on that.
We're formal around these parts.
Jerry's video, Milford Township. National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day. So I want to thank Chief Mook and his compliment, and Mr. Bach for his service, their service, and everybody within your department that supports you. So I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry. Any other citizens to be heard?
Dennis McAndrew. Unfortunately, I normally attend a lot of these meetings, and there was some family issues the last few weeks. I was unable to attend and missed. And I've said this in the past, perception is reality. The perception that the former, maybe treasurer disagreed and maybe was telling the truth that the budget is really tight and you're raising taxes and it's not an endless piggy bank, doesn't agree with Kim and Dan. And the perception that he spoke up and was reprimanded. It may not be reality, and I know a few meetings before that, there was a approved township handbook. If he violated that, he should have been given notice. What I saw a little bit on the news seemed like the rug was pulled out from underneath him, and it was wrong. And I don't think it was fair to the citizens of this township that someone is trying to control you guys from overspending and telling the truth. And it's perceived that you took your little ball and ran away because he didn't want to play with you. And it's not right.
Any other citizens to be heard? As stated previously and at other meetings, personnel issues cannot be discussed in public.
They can be discussed. They're not normally discussed, but they can be.
Mr. Shaw, would you like to explain?
What prohibits that, Mark?
I think from our perspective, until a final review of various personnel issues are made, it makes sense to not disclose
I understand
those.
that, but it's not a requirement that it's not discussed, correct?
I don't know that there's necessarily anything specific that says you can't, but
Right.
there are other considerations that
Understood.
good judgment decides the council's not to, until you have all your facts and everything straight, so.
Thank you, Mark.
Any other citizens to be heard? Okay, seeing none, I will ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion adjourned at 10:16.